It's always been there, standing between you and your health. A wall. Between a pain that won't disappear and a doctor who magically appears. Between a long wait on a hospital bench and staying right where you are, at home. Between finding yourself out of medicines and finding them at your doorstep, whatever the time. Between years of health records all over the place and all your records in one organized access from anywhere place. Between your current regimen and the recommended routine. The wall. We don't need it anymore. Say hello to Apollo 24/7. This is India's largest end-to-end omni-channel healthcare ecosystem, designed to touch more lives than ever before and delivering its promise in 3 important ways. 1. Listen. Talk to us anytime from anywhere. We've got 7,000 doctors and 30,000 healthcare professionals listening. 2. Advise. We'll give you expert advice you can rely on, because it comes from India's #1 healthcare provider. 3. Assist. We bring you India's largest health network of pharmacies, clinics, hospitals and health insurance experts. 20 million people already trust us for their care, and a further 50,000 people are discovering this every day. Apollo 24/7. Expertise is for everyone.
Namaste everyone, this is Ira Trivedi and I'm so pleased to be doing this session on mindful practices incorporating Yogasana, Pranayama and meditation. Thank you to the Apollo 24/7 and You Are Life team for inviting me to do this very important session today. Mindfulness has become a very important and very discussed topic, and rightfully so, because during the pandemic, all of us have been glued to our screens with very little real-time conversation. I don't know about yourself, but even when I'm on Zoom, I'm still looking at my WhatsApp messages. When I'm supposed to be somewhere else, my mind is constantly moving to social media or to Facebook. And this is stuff that all of us face on a regular basis. And while we think we may be multitasking, actually, in some way, we're disrupting our concentration. We're disrupting what we call in Western terms, the flow, and in yogic terms, dharana. And this flow or this dharana can lead to great changes. It can lead to not just wonderful creative discoveries in our life, problem solving. The greatest artists, the greatest scientists have found solutions to world problems during flow and dharana, but it also puts us in a very beautiful, restful state, which ends up making us more joyful, more happy in the long run. In today's day and age, with devices really bombarding us with information, with most life on the screen, Yogasana, Pranayama, and meditation can really help us understand what this dharana or flow is, so that we can take it back with us into our daily life. And when we do a particular kind of activity, we can actually focus our minds. Instead of the mind moving here and there, we can actually begin to get that sense of dharana or flow, even in the simple activities that we do in our daily life, which could be playing with our children, which could be cooking a meal, which could be typing out an email, or even just having a conversation with a colleague. So this is what our flow today is going to be focusing on. I would love for you to practice along with me so that you can actually do rather than just watch. And remember that we want to be here and now. I want you to actually take this opportunity to be and practice with me right now and right here. So while you may want to scroll forward or backward or do something else, I invite you to practice with me And through this practice, understand what mindfulness, what flow, what dharana actually is. So let's get started. First, let's get started with 3 ohms and a sankalpa, an affirmation for this practice that we're going to be doing. We'll spend about 30 minutes or so together. Take a comfortable seated posture. You could even be seated on a chair right now or a sofa. That's absolutely fine. Just make sure that the back is straight. Keep the hands in chin mudra on the knees, or you can even place them in the middle of your lap like this. And just close the eyes and begin to breathe. Breathing in deeply. And breathing out completely. Breathing in deeply, paying attention to the air moving into the nostrils. And breathing out completely. Before we begin, just try and disconnect the mind from devices, from situations, from your children, from your spouse, from your colleagues, as if we are pulling a plug, as if you are pulling the plug on your cell phone charging. Try to disconnect and try to join me here right now in the present moment. Trying to slow down the breath as we move in. Trying to move in deeper and deeper. Placing the hands close to the chest. Let's chant Om 3 times together. Om. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat, Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Place the hands on the knees. And now just take the hands and place them on the knees, and let's begin to rotate the spine. So we're going to begin with this simple warm-up. This is a practice that we often use in the practice of Kundalini Yoga. Just moving forward and backward. Getting a nice stretch to the spine. Let's move in the opposite direction. Do this as long as you need to. These are beautiful warm-ups for you to do at any time in the day. Breathing in and breathing out. Now coming back to center, let's do a seated cat and cow. So just moving inwards and outwards. Letting the shoulders roll back and then forward. Taking time to do this, there is no rush. And now, let's take our hands and just like this, interlocking them, bring them over and above the head. Feel that nice, beautiful stretch on your arms and pull the armpits up, pull the shoulders up. Stay here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. From here, dropping to the right. Feeling that nice stretch in the arm, in the side of the body. Back to center and to the left. Back to center one more time. To the right. You can even choose to look up now towards the ceiling. Back to center and towards the right. Back to center. Stretching up, twisting towards the right. Back to center and towards the left. Center to the right. And to the left. Let's bring the hands down. And now let's work with our neck. The neck is a very compromised area of the body because we're always looking at our phones, at our computers. So these exercises become very important to do. And in particular, if you have a stiff neck, then this can definitely give you relief. Just remember to do these practices with concentration. You shouldn't be thinking about something else while being here. Try to use your breath to center yourself. Take the left hand and press it on the right side and just press this right shoulder down. You can even take the hand, place it beside you. And try to find that spot where there may be stiffness. Come back, take the right side and press it down. Take the left hand and push it down and try to push back into the hand. Back to center, take both the hands, press them behind you and push back. So you're pushing on the hands as you push the hand into the head. So you're creating an isometric pressure here, strengthening the muscles of the neck and also at the same time relieving tension. And now bring the hands on the shoulders and try to rotate the shoulders round and round. Again, beautiful practice for those who spend long hours at the desk. And if you do these practices in between your workday, you can actually get beautiful benefits from doing this. Let's move in the opposite direction. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades at the back. Inhaling and exhaling. And now bring the hands to the T. Inhale and stretch towards the back and start really twisting. This is a wonderful practice for your paranasal sinus cavity. Really helps open it up. Back to center. Remember that do these practices slowly. There is no rush. If you do them fast, with the mind elsewhere, you are really deriving benefits from the practice. And back to center. Let's move to our lower body now. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring them as close as you can and push the feet into each other. Instead of pushing the knees down, push the feet into each other and try to open up the chest. Just stay here and breathe, breathe, and breathe. Pulling the body up and feeling the stretch in the pelvis. And now you can begin to flap the legs up and down slowly and with control. Once again, trying to pull the chest up. Closing the eyes if you need to. Breathing in and breathing out. And now take one leg, hold it with both the hands, and just move it up and down, trying to warm up the thigh and the knee. Bring it down. Let's move to the other leg. And back to center. Now you can just bring the legs in front of you and just rotate the ankles in both directions. Ankles are very subtle joints that actually need a lot of love and care. So you can actually see that one of the more common injuries that people get is twisting their ankle, hurting their ankle, about getting a fracture in their ankle, because we don't often take care of these joints. This is very crucial. And these are such simple exercises. Now I'm moving forward and backward that you can even do them at any time. You can be sitting at your desk and just doing these. You can be taking a small work break and just doing these, but just remember to do these with mindfulness. I recommend not doing them while you're driving or watching TV. That's not the best way of doing these things sometimes, but doing them as and when you can take a small little break. I like to call these mindful breaks that we can take during in the middle of our days, and they're really, really refreshing and rejuvenating. And now just coming back to center. And now let's begin with a few yogasanas. We'll be running through a few simple postures that you can be doing at any time just to bring the mind back to the body. So even if you'd like to integrate these with, say, a walk that you do, and after you finish walking, you can come back and do these as part of a sport that you play, or maybe even something as simple as doing them first thing in the morning as soon as you wake up. So these are just a few simple asanas that can help increase flexibility, that are great for the spine, that are great for the mind, and that can just help bring you back to a moment of mindfulness. Also, some of these asanas, and I'll be letting you know as I do them, are great for the brain. So they're actually working with the neurons of the brain to make the neurons a little bit more efficient. Because remember, the neurons conduct electricity. And what happens when you have a wire which is broken? That wire doesn't conduct as well, right? Now, what happens if you have a really brand new wire and the energy flows so beautifully in, right? Often we have cell phone chargers that start wearing away and they stop working. That's also what happens to the neurons in our brain. So try and fix and repair these neurons through some of the postures that we'll be doing today, because yoga has a fantastic effect on the chemistry of the brain. So let's begin by just simply lying down on the mat and just hugging the knees close to the chest. All right, hug the knees close to the chest and just roll the body side to side. What we're doing today is so simple that anyone can do these, no matter what age, what stage, and even no matter how advanced you are in your yoga practice. Sometimes coming back to the basic and doing these simple things can be so wonderful. To just keep rolling the body forward and backward, left and right. And now let's move to the Pavan Muktasana. So just hug the knees, and you can hold the hands like this and bring the chin and chest up and push the toes towards the body. And now stay here and let's breathe for 5 counts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly come down and take a few moments. And now grabbing the instep, the inside of the sole of the foot, bring the legs apart. We're moving into what we call the happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Wonderful for the spine, wonderful for the hips, and really wonderful for the brain as well. All right, that's why we call this happy baby. We often see babies in this posture, especially when they're really happy and they're laughing and they're smiling. Subconsciously, all of us know this posture. We've done this in our youth, but not in our youth, in our babyhood, but we forget it. Over time, as adult life kicks in, we forget these simple postures which brought us so much joy. So when we do these postures, often we are transported in our nervous systems into our subconscious memories. I love doing this posture also because it's great for the hips. We spend a lot of time sitting, and sometimes postures like this are so wonderful. Keep pushing the feet towards the ceiling. And just stay here and do a few deep breaths at your own pace. Breathing in and breathing out. And now begin to just roll side to side. Also for women during their period, this can be a really relaxing posture. Not holding it too long, but just for a little while. Remembering that if you're on your period, then there's also a slight inversion, so we can just do it for a moment to just open up the hips and then come back down. Let's hug the knees into the chest, place the hands, and let's begin to roll a few times. Rolling is also a fantastic yogic activity. And now let's come back to center and let's move into the child's pose. Another beautiful asana. So just let me show this to you on the side. And just simply, all you have to do is just keep the hands on the side and just come down. Bring the forehead on the ground. And just stay here and relax. Let the shoulders drop down. Let the palms face upwards. This is a fantastic asana for the brain. You can feel that slight pressure when the middle of the forehead hits the ground. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Letting the entire body sink into the ground. And slowly, whenever you're ready, just come up. And now just bring the legs nice and wide apart. We should try, and we're coming to the Shashankasana, so something like this. Okay, let me show it to you from the front. So bring the legs nice and wide apart. The toes are touching at the back. You can bring the hands in front and just first come a little forward. Bring the chin up. We're preparing ourselves for the Shashankasana. And from here, slowly begin to bring the hands forward. Walk them forward. And if this is maximum that you can go, you can just stay here. Otherwise, try to slide the hands forward, all the way forward, and drop either the chin on the ground or the forehead on the ground. The chin is slightly more advanced. You may be more comfortable with the forehead. And stay here and breathe. Focusing the mind on this beautiful stretch in your hips. connecting to your body, connecting to your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Trying to be here and now in this present moment. Remembering the maximum time that we hold a posture, the more beneficial it is. So the longer, the better. We all tend to rush from asana to asana. That's not the best. So now let's slowly come back, coming back into the child's pose and moving into one of my favorite stretches for the shoulders. So bring the hands down. Keep the left hand down. Take the right hand and thread it in like you're threading a needle. Okay, put that in and just bring bring the right forehead on the ground and stretch the shoulder and stretch the arms. So you're pulling the arms away from the body. So it's a beautiful stretch for the shoulders and also the neck. And stay here and breathe, breathe, and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Other side, take the left hand and place it underneath the right as if you're threading a needle. And then slowly bring the left side down and pull the arms away from each other and breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly come back to center, making a small U of your hands, and just place the chin between. Beautiful stretch for the neck. Just stay here, relax, and breathe. Slowly coming up. Let's come back into a comfortable seated posture. You can do this in a cross-legged posture. You can choose to do this in Vajrasana as well. This is a second posture. You can use anyone who's going to be running to just a few minutes of breathing practices, right? Just attention to the breath, just something what I like to call conscious breathing. So just focusing on the counting and some retention just for a few moments before we move into a beautiful visualization and meditation. So taking the asana of your choice so that you're comfortable for the next 10 minutes or so. Placing the hands either on your lap or on your knees. Relaxing the mind, relaxing the body. Focusing on the chest moving up and down, on the belly moving up and down. Focusing on the breath moving into the nostrils and out through the nostrils. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain the breath, back straight, spine straight for 5 seconds. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain the breath. Envisioning a light in between your eyebrows. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking a breath now at your own pace, breathing in and breathing out. The mind is in a beautiful meditative place. Bringing the focus to your toes. Let's begin to scan the body, moving to the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, the lower abdomen, middle abdomen, upper abdomen, the chest. Moving to the base of the spine and slowly coming all the way up, vertebra by vertebra. As if you're climbing a ladder. Moving to the fingers, the palms, the wrists, forearms, the elbows, upper arms, shoulders, neck, throat, the chin, the lips, the nose, the eyes, the forehead. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. As you breathing in positive vibes in the environment. And as you breathe out, just releasing anything that you have within you which doesn't serve you. Negativity, tension, grief, sorrow. As you breathing in positive prana, and as you breathing out all negative emotions. Breathing in vibrant energy. Breathing out tamas, a state of lethargy. Breathing in joy. Breathing out sorrow. Breathing in peace. Breathing out anger. Breathing in forgiveness, breathing out resentment. Taking a few moments. Taking your palms together now, rubbing the palms, placing the base of the palms on the eyes, base of the palms on the side of the head, all 5 fingers on the skull. May I bring this peace into the day, this joy into the day, this bliss into the day. Hariom Tat Sat. I hope you enjoyed practicing with me and with Your Life and Apollo 24/7. Thank you for helping us conduct the session today. And now I'll be answering a few questions that may be coming our way. We have about 10 to 12 minutes or so. So please do ask your questions. I'll come a little closer to the screen and ask and try to answer them. Could we have some questions now, please? Great. First question, I get very anxious sometimes. What can I do at this moment to calm my nerves? So what we did actually is a beautiful practice, especially if you remember some of the conscious breathing that we did. So sometimes just sitting and breathing in, breathing according to particular counts can be really, really helpful to you. So I hope you can bring in this conscious breathing into your life. So just remember, the breath is fundamental. When you're scared or when you're angry, the first thing that gets affected is your breath. You hold your breath. And what do you do when you want to bring in peace into your body? You take a deep breath in and you take a deep breath out. So remember that by slowing down your breath, you can get rid of a lot of negative emotions in your body. The breath is your best toolkit. Try to use it as much as you can. Next question. Working on my laptop all day causes sharp needling pain in my neck and shoulders. What yoga poses can help me? So we actually did a lot of warm-up exercises in today's practice. So that's why I specifically worked on a few neck exercises. So remember these that we did? And this particular one with this isometric exercise. So these ones can be really fantastic. And also the ones that we did on the ground with threading the needle, these are wonderful for the shoulders as well as these shoulder rotations. So if you have pain, then sometimes doing more warm-up exercises is better than heading straight into asanas, right? Because asanas are much more difficult. And we use sukshma vyayam or warm-up exercises to prepare our body for these. I have trouble falling asleep. Are there any calming moves that can help me unwind after a stressful day? Ananda Balasana, Happy Baby is one of my favorites. And the pelvic before we sleep and rolling on the spine side to side, like we did during our routine today, that can be really, really helpful and really wonderful for just helping calm and relax us before sleeping. Also, conscious breathing. This conscious breathing of just paying attention, counting to the count of 4 and exhaling on the count of 4, and with a brief retention, if you like, this can be so beneficial and useful. I use counting for my day actually to do so many different things. Next one. Can yoga help me increase in focus? Absolutely. Like I told you about the electric wires, right? A lot of these asanas actually help repair these neurons and the neuron pathways in our brain. And that's why, there's always a little bit of gentle pressure on our head when we do many asanas. For example, Shirshasana, the headstand, is such a fine asana. And definitely you do a headstand immediately, your focus almost immediately increases. That doesn't mean that you try headstand just like that. Please try with an experienced practitioner. Come to one of our yoga classes and you can do the headstand, but definitely yoga helps increase focus. Because of my working hours, I find it hard to make time for a long yoga flow. Can you recommend something that doesn't take a lot of time? Absolutely. So people think that yoga is really slow and boring and takes a lot of time. None of these are true at all. Yoga can be really fast, really interesting, really energetic, and you don't have to do a lot of yoga to be, to be a yogi. No. Just like I said, today we did a very simple practice. You can include it. Just take 3 asanas, do them for 1 minute each, and that can help you a lot. Particular targeted asanas, for example, an asana for the neck or for the shoulders or for the back, many of which we did today. You can include just few asanas in your daily routine or a simple breathing practice, and these can really help you. I started yoga a while back, but I lost my enthusiasm because it felt like I wasn't seeing a lot of changes. How can I keep my interest alive? That's a great question. We see this all the time. It is difficult to do yoga because yoga is such a mental practice, right? Yoga, those who are, for the weak-minded, definitely not. But just keep in mind that yoga is the best possible practice. Okay, not only is it great for your mind, it's great for your body, it's great for your endocrine system, all of your hormones. It's really difficult, but having a good teacher keeps you motivated. Having a good community keeps you motivated. So it's really nice sometimes when you fall off to come and practice with a group, and that's why online yoga is so wonderful, right? I mean, at our company, Yoga Love, this is why we started during the pandemic, so that people could come and they could practice together with community, and that really helps. So if you can't get the enthusiasm from your inside, then reach to the outside, reach to people who can help inspire you and bring. My yoga practice makes my wrists hurt. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so I want to recommend something for those who are doing yogasanas. I'm going to show this. This is called a yoga block, and I really recommend using these. All right, especially if you have weak wrists. I also recommend wearing a waistband, like a wristband when you do yoga. Wrists are very sensitive and complex joints, and they do get injured. So you do have to take precautions, right? Do wrist exercises before you do your practice, and do warm-up practices, because as I talked about the ankles, the wrists also tend to get injured, and you have to be careful, especially because we use so much of our thumbs these days, right? On texting, we're using our thumbs, and the thumbs are directly connected to the wrist. So I see a lot of wrist injuries. It's not because of yoga. It's because of extra phone usage and overextension of the thumb, which eventually causes the wrist to hurt. So make sure that you're not using a big phone, that your phone is also a proper size for your thumb length, right? So if you use a very big screen and are all constantly overextending, this will cause injuries to the wrists. I get very restless while meditating. Please help. Very common question, common experience. I would say before you meditate, try pranayama. If you find yourself restless during pranayama, then try asana. If you find yourself restless during asana, then go for a run. Get rid of the restlessness and then come back to the mat, and that often helps. So remember, if you can't meditate, it's too hard. Don't force yourself. Be easy on yourself. Try these different steps. You're becoming more and more active, right? You move from a run to a yoga practice, then to pranayama, then to meditation, and that really does help. How can I get my children to learn meditation? For children, meditation is usually tough. I suggest mindful practices. I actually have a book that I wrote called Mindfulness with Moksha, who's an elephant. And it talks about simple mindful practices that I try to initiate through our foundation that I run for children. It's a charitable foundation. And what we tried doing was actually helping them focus on day-to-day activities. So even if you're walking, try to get your kids to focus on walking by counting their steps. Or for example, if they're brushing their teeth, they should focus on brushing their teeth one by one, maybe, trying to count the strokes of their brush. So little activities while they're eating, try not to make them watch in front of the TV, make them eat in silence. They're really focusing on the food. So this can really help, bringing in not meditation, but mindfulness into their daily activities, just like we're trying to do in this session. So I hope that these answers helped you guys. Thank you. These are really wonderful questions, actually. I really do appreciate them. And, you know, I just want to end the session by saying that it's great to see many people getting vaccinated, but more of us need to get vaccinated against COVID-19. And you can do that by showing up at any Apollo vaccination center and booking an appointment on the app, so you don't have to wait in long queues, or you don't have to face any delays when you're trying to get a vaccination. It can be a really, really simple and easy process. Some people are scared of going to crowded vaccination centers. This doesn't have to be the case. You can also head on to something called Circle, which is Apollo 24/7's healthcare program. And actually, if you use the code Circle50, you can actually get some cash back by doing this. So this is a little something special that Apollo 24/7 gave some of the people attending the session with me. So definitely do check this out. It's a great benefit to have. Getting 50% off or getting some cash back is always wonderful. So thank you once again to Apollo 24/7, to You Are Life, and to all the people attending this session. I really hope that some of these activities today have helped you. Thank you very much.